D2 Word Life here with Rip. He wants to be on the Collie Kiss Cam Tides.
No. It's more like D2 who wants to kiss Mae Young on the Collie Kiss Cam.
Oh, no. That's you, even though...
Nope. That is you.
No, that's you, even though in this day and age that would be impossible, but that's beyond the point.
Nope, it's back to you again.
That's beyond the point. Hell no to that. Anyway, today we are reviewing the 2008 Armageddon event that took place on December 14th, 2008 in Buffalo, New York at the HSBC Arena with an attendance of 12,500. The commentators for this event were Jim Ross, well wishes to him right now in the current day and age with his current situation. Taz, Jerry Lawler, your boy Michael Cole, Todd Grisham, and Matt Stryker. No, Michael Cole's your boy. The other two announcers were Todd Grisham and Matt Stryker, in case you didn't hear that. And the ring announcers were Lillian Garcia and Justin Roberts. And a special shout out to the dark match that took place prior to the event starting. That was Miz and Morrison defeating your boys Jesse and Festus.
Uh-huh.
It's funny to think that the Festus character would go on to be Luke Gallows.
Yes.
So yeah, after the opening video package and the hype for the show, we go on to the first match of the night, which was between Matt Hardy, who was the ECW champion, against Vladimir Kozlov in a non-championship match.
Yep.
I have to say this right now. I really wasn't into this match. And it's none of the fault of the work. It's just this match seemed boring for the most part. So many rest holds performed by by Kozlov onto Hardy, like 80% of this match.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you noticed that during this opening contest.
Yep.
And, rest holds could be a good thing, like in the middle of a match, whatever, to try to, before, the face or whoever's in the rest hold makes a comeback, but 80% of the match was just rest holds. I'm just like, wow, this is not good at all. This is like borderline boring. It's too much. Right? Of course, Matt Hardy was able to make a comeback, only to get shut down. The ending sequence came when Matt Hardy's head got smashed into the ring post. And freaking Kozlov.
Well, at least they did your favorite move, the devastating chin lock.
Okay, even the chin lock couldn't freaking goddamn save the rest of the fucking match from being boring as heck. Right? Yeah.
And you don't deny that chin lock is your favorite, most devastating move.
Of course, like we said, near the end of the match, Hardy got his head smashed into the ring post, followed, and Kozlov followed that up with a spinebuster chokeslam combo to win the match by pinfall.
Yep.
Obviously, Matt Hardy had better matches. I can't say the same for Kozlov because I don't remember Vladimir Kozlov having too many great matches. Right?
No, he didn't really. He had some good matches when he was champion, but then it just went to shit.
Well, I know they were trying to push Kozlov from the get-go. I mean, he wasn't on a undefeated streak, which they mentioned here at this show. So that tells you all you need to know about who the heck was going over here, especially when it was non-title, obviously.
Yeah.
And I get they were trying to build Kozlov as a big monster. He just got off of a WWE Championship match from the month prior at Survivor Series, but this one just fell flat to me.
Yeah, but it also kind of went bad after they also tried teaming him up with Santino.
That would literally happen about a year or two later?
Yes.
And is it bad that I only remember Vladimir Kozlov because of the team with Santino in that comedy tag team? When that's why was essentially WWE just giving up on him. Like, we'll make him into a comedy character. But yeah, Vladimir Kozlov picks up the win in this, quite frankly, boring opening contest. I don't like to describe any match as boring, but hey, I gotta call a spade here. Your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, it was average.
Really wasn't, a great match to start the show. We will come back to those two again later on, by the way. Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And of course, backstage, they showed Finley and Hornswoggle back there. Hornswoggle was smacking the friggin' goddamn the interviewer backstage with an inflatable hammer. I don't know why they gave him that. Kind of a little comedy bit. Finley told Hornswoggle to not go back out.
It was supposed to be a mini shillelagh, but they didn't want to give him a weapon that soon, so they gave him a toy hammer.
But yeah, Finley said
and he hit Eve Torres with it.
Yeah, Eve Torres. Yeah, and then Finley told Hornswoggle he wanted Hornswoggle to stay backstage during his match with Mark Henry later on. Right?
Yeah. Which he would not heed.
Exactly, because Hornswoggle in this storyline is a child who doesn't listen. The ironic part about that is they portrayed Hornswoggle as a child, yet he had a beard. And he was in his 20s. Like, huh? Right?
They portrayed him as Finley's son.
Basically. Right?
Which they should have used, actually, Finley's real kids for that, but...
Yeah. Of course, then we go on to the second match of the night, which was the number one contenders match for the Intercontinental Championship, which was a tournament final between Rey Mysterio and CM Punk. Now, this one was actually back and forth. This one was actually a good match. They shook hands to start away since both were faces at this point.
Obviously, CM Punk still had his original theme.
I mean, they were going for a roll-up. They were going for their finishing maneuvers early, both counter into a roll-up, freaking both kicked out. There was springboard to the out. There was like a cross body from Punk to Mysterio on the outside. Then later on,
Rey Mysterio tried to hit Punk off the ropes, and then Punk literally just fucking throws him over it.
Yep.
And Rey hits his wrist on the ground hard.
Oh, yeah, I also need to make note before we go any further. Yes, the Intercontinental Champion, William Regal, was sitting at ringside along with Layla. Watching this match. Yeah, and every time one of them would go for a finisher, it would be countered, or, countered by the other competitor. By one another, it was just counter after counter here. None of them really had the advantage that long.
They tried. It was finisher attempts, signature attempts, but it was just counter after counter after counter after the thing until the very end.
Yeah, near the end, Mysterio did attempt a 619, but
surprisingly, there was no interference by William Regal.
Yeah, exactly. But in the end, Punk countered into the GTS. Which
busted Ray's nose.
Well, honestly, I think Ray's nose got busted when Punk hit the knee in the corner.
No, they even said that the way the angle was for CM Punk's go to sleep, it busted his nose.
Yeah. Well, anyway,
because it literally hit him right in the nose, square on the skull.
Yeah, from what I remember, I think Ray actually did the 619. He was going for, or something like that. He was going for a splash, but Punk caught him.
Punk stopped him, and he was going for the Hurricane Rana, but Punk reversed it into the GTS, which busted his nose.
And with that, CM Punk got the victory and won the number one contendership.
Which was actually an accident because that wasn't supposed to happen.
Yeah. So yeah, CM Punk was number one contender. If you're wondering about it, CM Punk, I believe, would have 3 matches with William Regal shortly after this. The first one ending in a count out, the second one ending by DQ. Before Punk legitimately got the win for the Intercontinental title about a month later.
Both of them ended in DQ because of Layla.
Well, either way, by the third encounter, Punk got the championship finally from Regal anyway.
Yes.
And of course, Rey Mysterio would not be deterred. He would actually go and win the Intercontinental title the following year at WrestleMania 25, which we already reviewed in a nothing match with JBL.
Anniversary.
I'm not getting into this argument again. Shut up.
It's the 25th anniversary.
Whatever. I still got WrestleMania 25. I'm not getting into this argument again.
You're already in this argument,
we reviewed that freaking dang show about a month ago. We don't need to argue about it now.
Yeah, it's the 25th anniversary of the conception of WrestleMania.
Yeah, and then backstage, Randy Orton was set to have an interview, but instead freaking Randy Orton just stood there while Cody Rhodes was doing the freaking talking, promoting Orton's match with Batista.
Yeah, Manu or Alpha Onawahi Jr., which is his real name.
Props if you remember the Manu character.
Yeah, well, he dropped it and went to just being Alpha Jr.
Yeah, they were praising Randy Orton. They were pretty much praising Randy Orton, saying that he's going to show you why he's the Viper out there tonight, why he's better than Batista and everything else, pretty much. So then we go.
Batista and Randy are really better than each other. They can one-up each other, but
yeah,
they're not really better than either other.
Yeah, and then we go on to the JBL Shawn Michaels segment.
Oh, I hate that shit.
Because the backstory for this one was 2008.
The market crash of 08.
The stock market crash in 08. Everyone was, in real life, was losing their jobs, losing money, struggling financially. And WWE decided to do a storyline where Michaels was struggling in that situation, which, let's face it, Michaels wasn't in any trouble, because if he was, that would just mean the billionaire Vince McMahon would underpay his superstars. Basically.
No, he was in trouble because like he said, he had because it was literally real life where he had went to a financial advisor and what he put in had crashed. So he put a majority of his money into the stock, and then he got in trouble.
And basically, Shawn Michaels had to make a decision on this night, which
he was also running out of money at that point because he was helping his friends, his brothers, sisters, helping them.
Yeah. And I really wasn't into this one at all. Even at the time, I really wasn't. And
yeah, this was what led up to the whole DX reunion and shit too.
About a year later. But this wasn't good. Shawn Michaels pretty much came out with JBL, or JBL came out, introduced Michaels. Michaels pretty much just aired his grievances about his hardship and his financial situation, and pretty much insulted JBL a little bit and said that he's working for JBL now. End of story.
Yes. Which this would lead to that infamous Sweet Chin Music fucking accident where he kicked JBL in the face.
Yeah, and that would happen at the Rumble the next month.
when he was facing Cena.
Yeah. Which would eventually lead to a match between the two at the February 2009's pay-per-view. What was it? No Way Out? Yeah. So there's that. Anyway, back to the actual wrestling here. We got a Belfast Brawl. It was Finlay taking on Mark Henry.
With Tony Atlas.
With Tony Atlas accompanying Mark Henry. And yeah, Mark Henry looked dominant throughout the build here, including picking up a pinfall win over Finlay in a tag match on ECW. On WWE's ECW, I should say. That. I'm just stating for the fact right now, at this point, WWE ECW was in the freaking trash can. Not gonna lie.
Well, they just didn't have the right. If they would have had Paul Heyman as the manager for ECW, then yes, it could have still grand.
But the fact is,
but they didn't have him as manager. They had him managing Lesnar.
I mean, Paul Heyman wasn't even a part of WWE at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, he pretty much quit after December to Dismember in 06 due to creative differences. He wouldn't come back until 2012 when they aligned him with Lesnar again. And of course, when they aligned him with CM Punk that same year. But if there was one good thing to say about WCW, it was the rise of CM Punk. And of course, Kofi Kingston, but Punk's the most famous one. Or most well-known one, I should say. In the main event scene today, you know what I'm saying?
Well, that's because Kofi is one of the most hated superstars right now anyways.
Well,
Kofi
Kingston did have a successful run as a member of the New Day. You gotta remember, he started in ECW, though.
He was better off without the New Day. When he was running as his Jamaican character, and then they kind of fucked that up when they had him slip to a normal accent, and then they're like, "Fuck it, we're gonna run with this."
And yeah, the New Day became one of the greatest tag teams of all when they were a trio, and that's what put Kofi Kingston back in the main event scene around WrestleMania 35 when he won the title.
Yes, but that's neither here nor there. Let's get back on track.
But yeah, going back to this match was, we're at Finlay versus Mark Henry here. A lot of weapons were used, and what I mean by that was kendo sticks, and the Judgment Day were in this years before they became a stable. Yes, I'm talking about the trash cans.
Yes, Dominic was there.
Hell, at one point, freaking Mark Henry actually took Dominic Mysterio and squeezed Dominic between himself and Finlay in the freaking corner of the ring.
Well, he also hit him with his lid, with his face, with his mask.
With the lid, too. Trash can. You knew for a fact when you seen that I was going to make these jokes.
Yes.
But
well, I beat you to it, bitch.
And then Mark Henry showed his strength when Finlay tried to use the shillelagh at one point, but freaking Henry took the shillelagh and just bent it over his knee, breaking it in half.
Right? He didn't bend it. He just fucking thrusted that son of a bitch and broke it in half.
Yeah, but in the end, freaking Mark Henry.
Tony Atlas tried to fucking hit Finlay. Almost like, dude, don't even try. And I'm like, wow. And then he went down like a sack of potatoes.
Exactly. But the ending sequence came when Finlay tried to use steel steps, but Henry countered, and then countered Finlay, putting him down once again. And then Henry tried to use the steel steps, but Finlay freaking hit a drop toe.
Kicked him in the leg and fucking
kicked him in the leg, making Henry go down onto the steps or the ring mat or whatever.
His face fucking hit the ring steps.
And then Hornswoggle freaking came out, handed Finlay the shillelagh.
Another shillelagh.
Handed Finlay another shillelagh, and then freaking Finlay knocked Henry out with the shillelagh, thus getting the pinfall win. Your thoughts on this Belfast brawl?
Yeah, it was decent. Did those two have better matches? Yes. Did those two have better matches fighting each other? For goddamn sure.
But yeah, this one I thought was good. I mean, it wasn't 5 out of 5 level great, but it was good. It was passable for a pay-per-view no DQ brawl pay-per-view match. And what was next? Was the match next, or was the backstage segment next with the divas in the back?
Backstage segment.
Oh yeah, it was a backstage segment with the freaking divas and Santa Haas.
I just love that fucking Charlie Haas was trying to find a fucking gimmick that would stick.
Yeah, and this was there at the time period when Charlie Haas would literally dress up as different freaking other gimmicks just for a night, just to be funny. This time he was Santa Haas. Right? Yeah, and then
fucking Santino and Beth Phoenix come in, and then Santino starts mouthing on like, "Oh, you all were tied for last place for Diva of the Year,"
which was Beth Phoenix award that she got at the Slammies on the Raw prior to this.
Yes.
Which we forgot to mention. And then Sandy was like, it's like the next Christmas gift is mine, because this was obviously during the month of December. And the boogeyman popped out.
And all you literally hear is the fucking creepy entrance that the boogeyman had, and then you just see him shake it up.
And then, of course, they had to have Santino scream like a girl. And I'm like, okay, this is cringe. And if you think that's cringe, it gets worse later on in the show. Then afterwards, Santino tried to escape the room, only for Goldust to stand there under the mistletoe.
I was about to say, yeah. What were they looking at? Right when Goldust was standing under, he's like, "All I wanted was to sing a song."
And then all of the freaking freak comedy gimmicks just started singing Christmas carols in the back. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah, well, we had Bray Wyatt's dad, the IRS man.
Yep. And I'm just like thinking to myself, you had the women's champion on the show, but nope, they had to put her in a throwaway fucking backstage segment. Okay.
Well, they didn't really have anything for Beth Phoenix to do. They didn't have her going for the 8-woman tag match or going for a title defense, so they had to do something with her.
Yeah, Beth Phoenix deserves so much better back then. You could say that about a lot of the women on this roster. You know what I'm saying? But anyway.
Yeah, well, like I said, they didn't really have anything for her to do that night.
Yeah.
So they had literally, they would not have done that segment without asking first. You know that for goddamn sure.
Yeah, at least it wasn't. At least that segment wasn't no cringy 8 diva tag match. Wait a minute.
It wasn't cringy. We had Kelly.
No. The next match.
Champion.
Yeah, that was that.
Michelle McCool, Maria, Mickey James.
Anyway,
versus the Miz's wife, Maurice.
We'll talk about that when we get there. But the match that happened prior to that was the match between Randy Orton and Batista.
Yes.
Whew. Now, this match was built that Randy Orton was a breakout star of Evolution. Batista wanted freaking dang revenge on Orton for a previous encounter. And at Survivor Series, Team Orton knocked off Team Batista, if I remember correctly. But this time it was one-on-one. And of course, in the early going, when Batista got knocked out of the ring, Cody Rhodes and Manu freaking tried to attack Batista, thus getting ejected from ringside.
Yes.
Now imagine if that was the ending right there by disqualification. This match would have been crap. All right? And Batista and Orton tried to go on offense on Batista. Batista would dominating moves, including RKO counters. Back and forth, but...
And punt counters.
And punt counters and everything else. I mean, Orton tried to throw everything, including the kitchen sink at Batista during this one. Right?
Yeah, but he didn't throw the trash can.
No, that was the previous match. Anyway.
I didn't see no Dominics flying through the air.
But in the end, freaking Randy Orton was going for something, was going for a move in the corner, but Batista reversed into a Batista bomb to win the match. It was a fairly straightforward back and forth match, but was it their best? No. Was it their worst? No. It felt on average to me, but still a good match.
Yeah, well, Randy Orton tried to go for that Alabama Slam.
Yeah, it was the Alabama Slam in the corner.
Holly would use, and then that got reversed into the Batista bomb.
Oh, yeah, he did attempt the Alabama Slam in the corner only for Batista to reverse it. It's kind of weird because the Alabama Slam isn't in Randy Orton's freaking move set. That's more of a Cody Rhodes move these days. All right?
Yeah, well, it was Bob Holly's
finisher at first, right? Yeah, it was Hardcore Holly's finisher at first.
But his name was Bob, so...
Oh, yeah, speaking of Hardcore Holly, how's your day been going, Crash?
Go fuck yourself, fucking Elroy Jensen-looking motherfucker.
Yeah, that's you.
No, that's you.
So, yeah, Batista defeating Orton here in this back and forth match with the two former Evolution teammates. I thought it was a good match. You're just gonna have to see it for sure. Was it the match of the night? No, that would come in the main event, but it was passable for what it was. Right?
Yep.
You know what match is not passable? Was not passable. The 8 women Santa's Little Helpers tag team match.
That was passable.
Made for horn dogs like you.
Go fuck yourself.
And it was Michelle McCool, Maria, Kelly, and Mickey James taking on Maurice, Jillian Hall, Victoria, and Natalia. Half of these what divas or women weren't even legal in the match or never got tagged in.
Well, they did get tagged in. But the good thing was that we didn't get to hear Jillian Hall try to sing.
Oh, imagine Jillian Hall trying to sing Christmas carols like that at your house.
Oh, God.
Another interesting note here is this was early in Natalia's freaking WWE run, so yeah, it is weird seeing her out there with her natural red hair instead of the blonde that we're used to.
Yeah.
Back then, I just had to do a double take. I'm like, who the heck's that? All right. Oh, it's Natalia with red hair. Okay, we're not used to that in this day and age anymore. All right.
Yep.
But either way, the match was fine, I guess. It wasn't the best. It was really quick. And it ended with Michelle McCool getting a pinfall victory over Jillian Hall with the Faith Breaker, a.k.a. the Styles Clash.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know what? I would not be shitting all over this segment if that was it. All the divas left the ring and went on to the semi-main. But no, that's not what happened.
Yeah, it's your favorite segment of the night, the Kali Kiss Cam.
No, your boy, the great Kali, came out with Ranjan Singh, wanted to do the Kali Kiss Cam with one of the participants of the winning team, first freaking targeting Michelle McCool, the Divas champion. She was smart. She's like, hell no, I'm getting out of here. This is the only way to get out of this cringe fucking segment. She goes, sorry, there's only one tall freaking person.
The champion. It was Kelly that was the champion.
Or Kelly the champion, whatever. who really cares? I'm not really keeping score anymore. Freaking Michelle McCool just dodged. She goes, nope. Sorry, there's only one tall, huge wrestler I would kiss. It's not the Great Khali, if you know what I mean. Ha ha. Which left the other three, which left Maria, Kelly, and Mickey James in there, and all of them were hesitant. And then Rungeon was like, you know what? No. You know what? You guys, it's like, you guys, you don't want to kiss Khali because he's too handsome. I'm just like saying to myself, that would be like you saying you're handsome. It ain't true.
I am handsome, bitch, unlike you.
You know what your problem is? I'm too good looking.
You want to know what your problem is? You're too fugly, and only Bigfoot's wife would like you.
You don't have to freaking goddamn insult me with facts. Wait, what? Wait, what the heck am I saying? But then Ranjit Singh goes, you know what? There's only one person who the Great Khali's going to be kissing tonight. And let's just say she's also Santa's little helper. She helped Santa for many, many, many years. Right when I heard that, I'm like, okay, this is going to be really cringe now. All right. And that's when Mae Young's music played.
Honestly, for a second there, I thought that they were going to actually make a fucking Mrs. Claus character. Whereas I'm like, okay, you have Santa Claus. What are you going to do now?
Missed opportunity to have Mae Young dressed as Mrs. Claus out there. It wouldn't have made the segment less cringe, but it would have been funny. Right?
Yeah.
But then Mae Young came out there. Yeah, Jerry or the commentators were making old jokes saying, yeah, Mae Young was around during the first Christmas.
Yep.
And I'm like, jeez. Right? It's like she's so old. You remember when the North Pole was just a pebble. Damn. Mae Young's so old. You remember when Santa Claus had no freaking beard. What?
Yeah.
But anyway, freaking Mae Young came out and yeah, Khali lifted her up and kissed her right then and there. And I'm just like, oh God, this is cringe. Okay, I know we always think that sometimes the pro wrestling we grow up with can be a little bit better than what we see today. It's segments like this that obviously made that statement a lie.
Yeah.
Because this was cringe, and this is obviously something I don't think we would see today. I could stand corrected, but that's just my opinion. All right?
Yep.
And then after that, the segment ends. I'm like, fuck this shit. Let's just go on to the semi-main, please. Even though this was your favorite segment of the show.
No, it was yours.
We all know you love these cringe freaking segments all the time in every single show we do.
I know you do.
For you, we all know you like the cringe segments and you like the shit matches for some reason because you like to see the world burn.
I know you do.
But anyway, the next match on the card, the semi-main event, was for the World Heavyweight Championship, as it's the former World Champion Chris Jericho challenging the World Champion John Cena. John Cena just came back after a neck injury the month prior at Survivor Series, which...
Herniated disc.
With a herniated disc, which that comeback really doesn't get talked about as much as his Royal Rumble comeback previously in the year. You gotta remember, John Cena herniated his disc in his neck, which caused him to have neck surgery following a match with Batista at that year's SummerSlam. Only to freaking come back 3 months later? Something like that to win the World Championship from Chris Jericho.
Yep.
Yeah, and pretty much Jericho said that he's going to become world champion again. He's going to beat down John Cena and cap off his 2008 by winning the world championship again. And Jericho was the 2008 Superstar of the Year also. Right?
Yeah.
Which, looking at Jericho's matches in 2008 overall, I really can't argue with that statement. All right. But anyway, that's beside the point. Two made their entrances. The two went back and forth, countering each other's holds and everything else. Jericho got the advantage at one point, but then Cena made a comeback like he always does. You know, the typical routine for a Cena match. That's what we had here, right?
Yeah.
And at one point near the end, Cena attempted an FU on Jericho, which is weird and interesting because WWE just became PG. I'm surprised at the time they didn't rename the FU to the Attitude Adjustment yet, right?
Yeah.
But Jericho countered the FU into a code breaker for a 2 count, right?
Yep.
But then Cena battled back, nailed the FU on Jericho for another 2 count, right? And of course, this time Jericho fought back and actually applied the walls of Jericho on Cena. And did Cena tap out? No, he did not tap out. Cena never taps out, despite the fact that he tapped out before. 2 submission holds.
He didn't.
Yeah, he did early in his career.
No.
Yeah, he did early in his career. He even did on pay-per-view.
No.
But whatever, Cena escaped the freaking hold and applied the STFU onto Jericho, which forced Jericho to tap out. Thus, Cena retains the championship here. Your thoughts on this one? I know I ain't going, like I always do now, I ain't going through these matches spot for spot, but your thoughts on this one?
It was decent.
Did they have better? Was this their best encounter? Not necessarily. Did they have better encounters? They felt all on average to me. The last time we did a Cena Jericho match on pay-per-view was from the 2005 SummerSlam, which Cena also won. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I think in all of Jericho and Cena's pay-per-view matches, Cena won. Right?
No, Cena's lost some of them.
Not that I remember from back in the day, but anyway, before we get to the main event here, we get to discuss this throughout the whole night. The fans at the time was able to go on a voting poll to try to be like, who do you think attacked Jeff Hardy in the hotel from the Survivor Series?
This was the bullshit fucking shit that started the Matt and Jeff fucking feud.
Yeah, and the choices were Edge, Triple H, Vladimir Kozlov, or other. Edge got the most votes because a lot of people thought that he was the one who tied because Edge freaking returned at Survivor Series to take Jeff Hardy's place in that championship match. And I bet like the 14% who voted other however many percentage on were like, I knew it a couple months later when they revealed that. Right?
Yeah.
Which we already talked about in depth during the WrestleMania 25 and Backlash 09 reviews. All right?
Yep.
But yeah, Edge returned at Survivor Series, took Jeff Hardy's place, defeating Triple H and Vladimir Kozlov in a triple threat match that night to win back the WWE Championship. Jeff Hardy was at it, and then of course Triple H had his rematch for the WWE title against Edge. Jeff Hardy was added into it, making this a triple threat match for the championship. So, and that's where we're at right here. Right?
Yep.
So, but yeah, freaking some of the spots early on were actually pretty good. Neither 3 men had the advantage, but at one point it looked like Jeff Hardy was all but dead, but when they were fighting on the outside, and Edge then freaking Triple H went for a pedigree on Jeff Hardy on the announce table, only for Jeff Hardy to reverse it. Attempted a twist of fate, but Triple H got out of the way, only for Edge to spear Jeff Hardy from one announce table to the other announce table.
Yep.
So I'm like, okay, Jeff Hardy's done, right? So for a while, we go back to a one-on-one situation with Edge and Triple H in the ring, right? And of course, freaking Triple H managed to hit the pedigree onto Edge, but Vladimir Kozlov, of all people, interfered, pulling Triple H out of the ring, starting to brawl with Triple H, right? Then Matt Hardy came out, attacked Kozlov, but Matt Hardy got freaking taken out as well, because Jeff Hardy went for the Swanton on Edge, only for Kozlov to push Jeff Hardy off the top rope. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but then near the end of the match, Edge got in control. Hardy was still down on the outside. Edge was in control of Triple H. And Edge got two chairs. Edge attempted to do the concerto on the Triple H, only for Jeff Hardy to take the steel chair and nail Edge in the head with it. Right?
Yeah.
And right when Jeff was about to perform the Swanton Bomb off the top rope, Triple H knocked him. Triple H was a dick to Jeff Hardy's by crotching him on the top rope. Right?
Yeah.
And so Triple H was like, screw this, I'm going to end this right now with a pedigree. So right when Triple H was about to make the cover, that's when Jeff Hardy executed the Swanton Bomb, knocking Triple H out of the ring, and Jeff Hardy pinned Edge to win the WWE Championship. His first world title of many. Right?
Yep.
And well-deserved, too, at this point. I mean, I didn't go through all this whole match, but your thoughts on this one?
It was good.
Was it the best match of the night? Yes. Did Jeff Hardy deserve the win at the time? Yes. Cause shit, back then,
want Edge to retain? Yes.
Nobody wanted Edge to retain other than Edge and Vicky.
Nope, you did too.
No. We all know back then you were an Edge head. You were disappointed at their ending. I bet you were. I bet you were. I bet you went to school the next day and be like, I'm pissed off. Edge lost.
Nope.
Sad face. I bet that was you the next day back then.
Nope, that was you.
Nah.
Yep.
Anyway, I thought it was a great main event. Jeff Hardy deserved the win here, and that's what this event is remembered for, is the Jeff Hardy winning the WWE Championship. His first of many world titles in his overall wrestling career. Right?
Yep.
So now that we reviewed the event the best we can here, time to go to our rating system. Hey. Vladimir Kozlov defeating Matt Hardy in that non-title match, 2.5 out of 5.
1.5.
Ugh. I think I gave it too much credit, though, with the Matt Hardy comeback. That's all I could really freaking get. CM Punk defeating Rey Mysterio in the Intercontinental Championship Tournament Finals. I gave that one 4 out of 5.
The what?
CM Punk defeating Rey Mysterio. I gave that one 4 out of 5.
I'd give it 5 out of 5.
Finlay defeating Mark Henry in that Belfast brawl. I gave that one 3 3/4 out of 5.
4.5.
Batista defeating Randy Orton. I gave that one 4 out of 5.
4.5.
Yep. Kelly, Mickey James, Maria, and Michelle McCool defeating Jillian Hall, Natalia, Victoria, and Maurice in that 8-women Santa's Little Helper tag match. 1 out of 5, and that's being nice.
I gave it a 3.5.
Why?
Because it was entertaining.
Oh,
I like to see you squirm.
Well, I think you only gave it 3.5 out of 5, strongly based on what happened after the match.
No, that's what gave it that half mark.
Jesus Christ. John Cena defeating Chris Jericho to retain the World Heavyweight Championship. I gave that one 4.5 out of 5.
5 out of 5.
And of course, the main event with Jeff Hardy defeating Edge and Triple H to win the WWE Championship. I gave that 5 out of 5 because any less, freaking people be coming at me with torches and pitchforks.
10 out of 10.
You broke the scale.
I was going to say 1 out of 1. Just kidding.
Yeah. So my personal final grade for the 2008 Armageddon is a strong B+, mostly on the World Title match and the WWE Championship match.
Yeah, B-.
Yeah, same grade area. So yeah, that's our thoughts on the 2008 Armageddon, which to date, this would be the final Armageddon event, WWE Armageddon event. Little fun fact for you.
Yeah.
So yeah, as we know, this event was my pick this week, even though originally a couple weeks ago it was your pick until real life circumstances hindered it, right?
Yes.
So, balls in your court. What are we going to review next week? I swear to God. I swear to God, when it's your turn to pick an event that we haven't seen yet, I always get nervous because I know you. It's either going to be really good or it's going to be crap. What are you going to hit me with next
week? Since a certain show is coming in the coming weeks,
which is Money in the Bank,
we are going to do we are going to do 2015 Money in the Bank.
I got a question for you on that one. I know that show was crap, but I got a question for you. What is your obsession with Sheamus? You had me review the 2012 friggin' Rumble, which Sheamus won undeservingly. You made me review WrestleMania 28, which had that 18 seconds with Sheamus winning that championship, and now you're going to have me review him winning the Money in the Bank.
I told you I love watching you squirm.
No, I think deep down secretly Sheamus is your favorite right now. Is that why you're making me watch this shit? Like, I'm not saying that Sheamus is a bad wrestler. I mean, now he's producing bangers after bangers, obviously, but back then he wasn't in really good segments.
Well, you could also make us watch fucking Money in the Bank 2017 or 16.
Well, Money in the Bank 2016 wasn't that bad, but 15, you said 15, we're doing 15.
Yeah, you don't even want to discuss 16.
Well, I know 16 was the one that Roman Reigns came in as champion, Seth Rollins beat him, and then Ambrose friggin' won it after cashing in.
Yeah.
Which, I'm like, okay, that one's not bad. It's historical for that reason. 2015, though. Last time I seen 2015's Money in the Bank was literally the night it happened. And I really didn't like it then either.
It was Seth Rollins versus Dean Ambrose.
Yeah. For the championship. Oy. God. God, man, I hope it's not as bad as I remember it being, but I guess we'll see next week. But just think, bro. If this freaking event is crap, be afraid. Be very afraid for what I'm going to pick for the following week.
Oh, I'd like to see what you pick, and you'd be afraid.
Oh, and just think, we got new options right now. Also,
yes,
when it comes to a certain company, and for future, just to clarify, for future reviews, we're probably going to dip into the TNA events once in a while.
Oh, you make me review a shitty WWE one. I'll make you review the Sting versus Jeff Hardy match.
God damn it, that's my ultimate weapon for the TNA shows, by the way. Something tells me if I make you review that event, you're going to come up with something even more. Well, I don't know what could be more crappier than that. Actually, I do know what could be more crappier than that. And the event I'm thinking of, that's the ultimate FU freaking goddamn shit event.
Yeah, Heroes of Wrestling.
I wasn't thinking Heroes of Wrestling. I was thinking of another show that was a WWE show. But we'll discuss that later. Anyway.
If you're thinking about 2019's fucking Hell in a Cell, fuck you.
No. Anyway, next week we'll be doing the freaking dang Money in the Bank 2015. So until then, we will talk to y'all later. Peace.
Deuces.